Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Stardew Valley 1.6 playthrough series. It is great to be here and I hope you're doing well today. Say folks, we are back on the farm and you're reading this right, it is day 1 of summer. That's right, so we have a brand new season. Obviously that means new forageables, it means new fish to catch, it means new crops to plant, all of which we have big plans for. So let's kind of hop right into it. Obviously, in the end of the last episode, we kind of got our plots all figured out. And folks, we're going to start growing a very bountiful garden that is fully automated with sprinklers. So really looking forward to that. Got a lot of work to do, so let's get started. And while we're getting started here, folks, if you are enjoying the playthrough series on the channel, please consider becoming a subscriber. We'd love to have you in the community. And thank you so much. So the spirits are neutral today. And let's take a look at what we did. So it looks like the changing of the seasons was not favorable to us, but we have our sprinkler plots kind of in place here. So that's obviously a useful thing because it'll tell us exactly where to dig. So why don't we go ahead and get our watering can. We're going to need that. We're going to need our seeds. Let's kind of offload some stuff here first and foremost though, I suppose. Let's get the Luna machine taken care of course. Let's get equipped with the proper tools. That's right, we moved them all over to this box here. Alright, watering can. We'll need the hoe. Got that. We'll need some sap to make some fertilizer, for sure. So why don't we go ahead and grab some sap. It's in this chest here. Alright, looking good. The Luna machine. You are the top priority here, sweetheart. Let's go. Good girl. And the chickens a close second. Sounds like we have some bees swarming somewhere. Got some eggs. How's it going, chicken friends? Looks like I forgot yet again to open up your little door. I guess it's lower risk that way, but of course they do eat your hay then. So on a nice day, you might as well just keep the door nice and opened up here. Alright, so what we want to do is obviously get these plots of land dug out again. And then we're heading into town to buy some seeds. We're going to be spending a lot of cash money on seeds. There's a lot of crops that we need to get our hands on. We can obviously plant our starfruit seed as well. We have some speed grow available as well. So there's a lot of interesting stuff happening at the ripe day of Summer 1. So let's just keep on tilling the land here. And like I said, the season turnover was not good to us because, of course, we had this all plotted out and ready to go. I guess that is something to make note of for future kind of season turnovers, if you will. There might not be a ton of sense in, tilling your land, but it's all good. It works out. Plus, we need a little bit of time here before Pierre's opens up anyways, so be alright. We are getting some clay, which is nice. Clay's not the most common of resources. So let's go ahead and get all of this nice and tilled up. So what are we going to be growing this summer here, folks? Well, in summer, you can actually get corn, which is a summer and fall crop. So corn is a plant that, of course, stays growing once it's grown. So that's a decent investment there. We can get 5 gold star corns to complete a community center objective. So we'll probably get some corn. Blueberries are another strong summer crop. We'll definitely be getting those. We need some wheat for the community center. We also need some melons for the community center. There's several things for the community center that we're going to need to grow. So that's what we're going to kind of focus on here. And then we're going to probably fill in the rest with blueberries, I would assume, is probably the best candidate. So before we really go much further here, we don't need weapons on us at this point. Let's keep the hoe, pickaxe, and watering can for sure. Keep the horseradish and the green onion for energy. let's get the eggs in the chest here. And then I'm going to just refill the watering can. Then we're going to take the town, but before we do that, there's plenty of things that we can turn in at the community center. So we might as well offload some of this stuff. It just makes sense to do so. So let's start getting some of this fish unloaded. Ghost fish. What else? We could get the parsnip here. We could get frozen geode. Crystal fruit. Winter roots. Cave carrot. Crab. And cloth. So let's get all of this turned in. And then let's buy some seeds. We have plots for 168 seeds. So we will be buying 168 seeds. Well, 165 because we have the star fruit that we're also going to plant. So maybe we can actually get some stuff from completing a community center bundle. We'll have to see. I don't really recall what all of the rewards are exactly. Like, I don't have all those memorized, but I do know you can get some pretty good stuff. So let's just turn this in here. Let's start with the fish tank here. River fish bundle. Alright, so we have the sunfish, we have the catfish, we have the shad. Okay, that's the rainbow trout there, or tiger trout, excuse me. Don't have access to that. We have the wood skip here, we have the ghost fish. Ocean fish bundle. A sardine, red snapper, and tilapia. I believe these three are available here in the summer. So we'll be getting those soon. A crab pot bundle. Do we have anything? Well, we have the crab. Yeah, we can turn in the crab. Lake fish bundle. Largemouth bass. Carp. Bullhead. And the sturgeon, I believe, is also available in the summer. Alright, so we're looking good here. Got plenty of those turned in. Bulletin board is another one. So the field research bundle. This is where the chub is needed and the frozen geode. Enchanter's bundle. Nothing really doing there. Okay. Let's go to the pantry here. So the quality crops bundle, we can turn in the parsnip for that. Summer crops, obviously we're going to grow these in the summer here. So we'll be able to complete that objective as well. And then for the winter foraging, we actually have a few of these by way of the mine. Cave carrot. Where exactly was that needed again? Exotic foraging bundle. Okay. Exotic foraging bundle. Cave carrot. Yep. Cloth now. I believe that is... I think that's the animal bundle. It's not the vault bulletin board. Chef's bundle, no. Artisan bundle. That's where it's at. Okay, so artisan bundle. Pantry. So we gotta stop up, back up at the pantry here. Drop off the cloth. And then 2 piers, we go. Artisan bundle, you bet. Just want to keep our chest kind of, you know, unloaded just a bit. Don't want to get too over encumbered with items. I like to try to keep order where possible. Alright, 2 piers, we go. Should have brought my daffodils with. Alright, melon seeds. So what do we need? There's a few just random ones that we're definitely going to get. Here's some speed grow. I mean, we could certainly backfill with some speed grow. We can make fertilizer with our sap. Here's corn. The poppy. So we need the poppy. So let's buy 1 poppy. Wheat, we need 10 units of wheat. So let's make sure we get 10 units of wheat. We need exactly 1 hot pepper, which we will, of course, grab. We need 1 tomato. And then we also need... So for the quality crops, it's 5 gold melons and 5 gold corns that we can get here in summer. For the summer crops, it's tomato, hot pepper, blueberry, and melon. So I'll grab a melon here. I need to keep in mind that we also have 9 melon seeds back at the farm. So I'm just doing a little math here on the side. So, all right. So, all right. We have room for 144 additional seeds, all things considered. So let's go ahead and get some melons because we need at least 5 gold ones here. So let's minus 50 slots. Gonna need a bunch of blueberries too. So let's get like... Let's get some additional blueberry seeds. So 94. So that about does it. So we will have the summer crops bundle completed. Once the melons are planted, we should get 5 gold ones there. We have the poppy. We have the wheat. Am I missing anything else here? I don't believe so. For the speed grow, I mean, we can certainly invest in some speed grow. Let's invest a little bit of cash into some speed grow here. These would be good for our blueberries. Will give us a nice quick harvest. So 60, we have 20, so let's buy 14 more. All right, so that'll be 94. So we can speed grow our blueberries, which just feels like the right thing to do. I don't know if Caroline likes horseradish. Probably not. All right, perfect. You are very welcome, Caroline. You strike me as the type that likes the horseradish as well. All right, now back to the farm here, folks. We have some planning to do, of course. And first and foremost, let's craft up some fertilizer. Want to get that down with our melons, of course. And we can always grow corn in the fall. So I opted to not go with corn. I think after we harvest our melons, maybe we can pop back into town and get some corn. So that is my thought there. All right, so speed grow. Let's make sure we grab the rest of the seeds. 9 melons. All right, speed grow. Where did I throw the speed grow? There it is. Okay. Watering can's full. Of course, we have to water on day 1 here. And then let's get our sprinklers. So 21. 21 and 21. And this is, of course, a big investment. I mean, it pretty much took us a whole season to get the materials needed. But boy, is it a time saver. So let's go ahead and just as many of these quality sprinklers as we can. And let's put them in place. All right, quality sprinklers down. Now let's plant the wheat. Let's start off with the wheat here. The poppy. Let's get the pepper. Let's get the tomato. And let's get the star fruit, but let's get that in fertilized soil. Perfect. Okay, so now we're going to do the blueberries here. Well, I guess let's do the melons here. The nice big seed of the melon there. All right, 26 more. $13, $14, $15, $16, $17, $18. Alright, 26 is down. So let's get it planted. Sounds like Luna's barking at some squirrels or something of the like. And the rest is going to go down as a speed grow here. And of course, this will make your plants grow faster. The reason I see it as great for blueberries is because the blueberry is a plant that grows, and then once it grows, it just keeps on producing blueberries for you. You don't have to replant it. So I think this is a great way to really get some added income. Gotta make sure we get it all down, though. Alright, looks good. The math checks out. So let's go with the blueberry seeds here. And this would be a nice big money maker for us, of course. Much like the strawberries are the king of spring, I would say the blueberries are the king of summer. And it is best to kind of have a bit of a plan. Unless you're planning on not using sprinklers at all. It's good to have a plan. It's a lot less wasteful that way. So now, of course, we do have to do just the first watering of the season, right? And then moving forward, no more sprinklers will be, no more watering can will be necessary because we have the sprinklers. Excuse me. So let's rock and roll. And how much time does it take to water 168 plots? Well, it's going to take some time, for sure. But it's going to be worth it in the end, of course. Looks like our chickens are home safe, so might as well close that up there. Let's get a few more eggs to toss in the old mayonnaise machine. And onward we go. So a little star fruit there. And then you see we spent about $18,000. That is a lot of cash to spend, without question. However, it's going to pay off. I mean, once we get our first blueberry harvest, we're going to be looking real good, real mighty. Another thing I want to do this summer is I want to start getting some additional animals, not necessarily chickens. I think the 3 chickens we have do pretty well and give us what we need. I want to get a barn, and I want to get some cows and goats and the like. In fact, I want to get a barn and just keep upgrading it, right? That's definitely a big priority. So what do you need for a barn? Well, you need money, obviously, but you also need a lot of stone and a lot of wood. So some logging runs in the Cindersnap Forest is definitely in the future for us here. Plus, like I said, there are a bunch of new fish to catch. Summer is abundant with fish for the community center. It's also a pretty good season, in my experience overall, to simply fish in for money. So we'll definitely keep that as kind of a side hustle. And then we're almost done with the mine. I think we're at, what, floor 95? The mine does have 120 floors. But you get something very beneficial at floor 100, so we're almost there. Got some tools to get upgraded as well. I mean, with our fully automated sprinkler system, we can get our watering can upgraded pretty freely. So that's nice. Usually you have to be strategic about when you're upgrading your watering can, right? Because your crops still need to be watered. It's the only way to water it. However, if you're playing multiplayer, obviously your partner will have their own set of tools. So that's one workaround, but if you're playing solo like we are here on this playthrough series, you are going to need to be strategic about upgrading your water can. So it's literally takes about all day to get all this planted, fertilized, right? Dug up, sprinklers in place. But it's going to be the gift that keeps on giving, particularly with the blueberry. Alright, and we have a bat. So let's deal with you. And the pest that you are. So lots and lots and lots of energy here. And can you imagine having to do this every single morning without sprinklers, right? The energy cost, the time commit. That's why it's worth it in my mind to get sprinklers. It just is. Let's go and top up the old watering can here. Alright, watering can full. Let's finish off these fields. And then see what else can be done with the few hours we have remaining. Probably cut down some trees. I want to have my wood in a good spot for a new barn. Alright, looking good. Looking real good. Sell the mayonnaise. Alright, so let's grab the axe and let's go fell some trees. Alright, looking good. Get some more sap. For fertilizer, of course, and then get some more wood, which is going to be greatly needed, especially as we take a look at the cost of the barn. It's not necessarily the gold cost that is shocking, it is the wood cost, right? It makes sense. A barn is a big structure, requires a lot of wood to build, of course, and that's definitely one thing that is consistent in this game with real life, right? In fact, we could check our mushroom cave here, too. Gotta remember to do that. On this particular farm layout, it's a little bit out of the way. Not always something that you're thinking about. A little bit of spring cleaning here on the farm. Except for it's summer. So summer cleaning. Hopefully this tree falls the right way. Good. Alright, let's check the mushroom cave here quick. And we have some common mushrooms. We have a morel here as well. Very nice. Alright, it is 12:40. Let's eat this last spring onion here. One out of horseradish too. Should give us enough energy to take down one last tree, or two. See if we can get one more down here quickly. Alright, we're good. The door is already closed. So I guess let's see if there's anything about our current... This is actually dangerous, being near a slime when time runs short here. Because they'll slow you and then you'll find yourself limping toward the door. Just like, oh, gotta get there, right? Luckily, we managed to be fast enough. Alright, Tuesday the 2nd dawns here. Weather reports. It's going to be clear and sunny all day. Fortune teller, somewhat annoyed today, okay? All right, what do we have? Looks like we have some maple syrup back here, but isn't this a glorious sight here, folks? You see the sprinklers at work, doing their thing. I don't see any crows or anything like that, so we either got lucky or our scarecrows are sufficient. It looks like Luna has a tree right here in the way. Let's make sure we get this taken out. Looks like we have some moss on that tree. That must be a new addition to the 1.6 is my guess. Alright. So let's get our watering can here. No, don't eat the morel. Those are best fried in some butter. Or so I've heard. I'm not a huge mushroom fan myself. But we got the Luna machine taken care of course. I mean, you could probably make the argument that we could support one more chicken here in this coop. Given the effectiveness of our mayonnaise machines, right? We're essentially making more mayonnaise than the eggs we're getting, right? It's all right. Let's assess quickly. I don't have the cash really to get the barn yet. But we're sitting at 523 wood, 483 stone. Respectable. So this is definitely community center. Coal in there. We have the horseradish, common mushroom. I think what I'll do is we'll spend a good portion of today fishing. I'm going to arm myself with the daffodils. We have the maple bar here, +1 fishing for 16 minutes. I mean, it's really good. If we're going to spend the day fishing, we might as well rock that. And there's also just a little bit more field space in here, right? But it wouldn't be... Let me see. So we could make 4... Why don't we do this? I mean, it's not maximized, right? Definitely is not. But we can get a few more crops going here. This one's maximized. We essentially have space for 3 more quality sprinklers here. I suppose I can just... I can do it over here. It's not ideal to block your movement pattern with it, but it'll be alright. It's actually 4. So let's go ahead and get a 4th field in here. Alright, perfect. So let's go into town here quick and get some more crops to grow. I'm thinking corn probably makes sense here. Could also do blueberries, of course. Why don't we do corn? Because we have the fertilizer. We need 5 gold corns. What's up, Pierre? How's it going? Let's get some corn. So let's get 32. Don't have the cash. Of course we don't. So you can sell stuff back to Pierre here. But corn is expensive, my goodness. Didn't even realize. We also need some sunflowers, I do believe. So let's buy some sunflower seeds as well. Believe we have some mixed seeds too. Here's Caroline. Hey, Caroline. There you go. And onward we go. Let's head back to the farm. Got plenty of time to, of course, find a few more seeds to plant. In fact, we could just plant some of those mixed seeds. We could do that. That'll give us a chance to earn a little bit more cash. Alright, so let's make 4 more sprinklers here. So now we're rocking 25 quality sprinklers here, folks. In fact, what I need to do first is... let's get a little foundation for the sprinklers here. One that doesn't erode. I believe it also makes your sprinkler like stay in place as well. Five fertilizer. We have 26 seeds of corn, so let's go ahead and craft up to 26 fertilizer here. 26. Very nice. Obviously not ideal to have it kind of right up on your chest where you're going to be walking, but this is a kind of a farm layout that makes, you know, it did warn you, right? Not the most space to farm. And I think we're kind of seeing that right here, right? And that's alright, folks. We'll be alright. Got some mixed seeds here. Let's plant them. Let's call that good. We'll certainly get some more seeds eventually. Alright, so we have the maple bar. We have plenty of time on our hands. We could certainly go fishing. Let's get these all watered up here, though, quick. Alright, looking good. Alright, now let's prep ourselves to get to the beach here. So let's grab the hoe, copper pickaxe. Don't need the sword. Fiberglass rod, you bet. And then we need some bug meat because we're going to turn that into bait. Question is, where do I keep my bug meat? Right here. That's bug steak. This is what we need. Let's get a bunch of bait, you bet. Throw that on our rod and we are pretty much good to go here. Let's get a few things to kind of restore the energy if we need it. Alright, looking good. So let's go. I think the most sensible spot to go, first and foremost, is the ocean. Are there any forageables? Not seeing any. Of course, there's a new crop of forageables here in summer. Alright, let's see. We have a clamshell to greet us And let's get to the ocean here. Let's see what we can get. Maple bar. Let's just eat that. +1 fishing for 16 minutes is really hard to say no to. And that's a new one, the red mullet. Okay, so we have a very aggressive fish here. And that one got away for sure. That one jumped me. Took me by surprise. Soggy newspaper. Kind of feels like a red mullet. It is a tuna. Okay, so that is definitely a community center fish. Ancient doll and coal. Lovely. All right, another red mullet. All right, let's go. Keep catching them fish. The red mullet is not a community center fish, so we don't have to worry about that. That's pure profit. We can sell that. We have a treasure chest up there. Let's make sure we get it. And this one's just going to sit at the bottom. It's a flounder. What do you know? Coal. We have flounder roe. Very nice. So you can do several different things with roe. The main thing you want to do with it is age it. We don't really have access to what we need for that yet, but that is what you want to do with it. It will simply increase the value. That flounder was juking me out. Got Willie, you know, fresh off of work down here in the bottom right corner. You know, fresh off of work. Just got done running the shop. He's going to cast a few poles into the water here. We have ourselves a flounder. Flounder's not a bad fish to catch. And some seaweed. Lovely. Alright, what do we have here? Another tuna, perhaps? Red mullet. Another red mullet. Alright, so that is a tuna. A little more challenging than the red mullet, I must say. Alright, red mullet and a treasure chest here with 5 stones in it. Lucky us. My goodness. Flounder. Still have another 11 minutes. Okay, so we got an intense one here. Got to angle this one pretty well here. Definitely the most challenging fish we've had on the line so far. Don't let him get away. Let's go, man. All right, we got him. And folks, that is a super cucumber right there. Very lucrative fish. Very challenging fish to catch, though. My goodness. I guess it's not technically a fish. It's an aquatic life form, but wow. Was that a battle? He almost got the best of us a few times. Hey, there's our old trophy fish, the halibut. Very good fish to catch during spring here on the ocean. At night is when they come out, of course. It's got flounder all over it, perhaps. That's another halibut. So the super cucumber is not used in any community center bundle. So we could certainly sell it, and you'll see a pretty price tag on it. It looks like we have another one here. You can tell they come out of the gate swinging on you, for sure. Super cucumber. All right, so we got a couple of those. It's very good. Makes any fishing trip worthwhile. Halibut, I mean, we'll take that all day. I felt it necessary to kind of spend most of the day fishing here because, I mean, we have $29 here, folks. We need to chip in something while the crops are growing, right? Absolutely need to chip in something. I mean, I might be able to get a barn built just through fish sales alone. But it's going to be very hard for me to get it upgraded with fish sales alone, right? So that's where the complement of the crops kind of come in. The crops will still be what make us the money, but this is just nice little chip income, which really benefits us, obviously. This appears to be another super cucumber. Let's see if we can go 3 for 3 here. Managed to get the treasure chest as well. Alright, 3 for 3 on the super cucumber. Plus we got the treasure chest. And it's a geode. We are rewarded with a geode. Not the greatest, but we'll take it. Halibut. Admittedly, I don't have a ton of iridium quality fish to be selling. Not good. Catching a lot of halibut here. You love to see that. The halibut's going to sell well for us. And that one maple bar pretty much kept us propped up all day. Got another super cucumber here. Can we go 4 for 4? Or are we just going to be batting 750? We're batting 1,000 still, folks. Yeah, so the maple bar like lasts you pretty much all day, it appears. It's just what we needed. Another super cucumber here. Let's go. Let's go 5 for 5 here. This one's just all over the place though, my goodness. All right, we pull them in. A very prized catch there. Get some broken glasses. All right, so what could we just munch on a little bit here? I mean, Flounder Row, it's going to be a long time before we're really... using that for anything meaningful. Why don't we go ahead and just eat some fish eggs, right? Yummy. And I feel sorry for the things I put my my guy through here. All right, what do we have? It's not a super cucumber, I'll tell you that. But we do have a fishing treasure chest here. Definitely want to get those. Potentially great things can be had. We have a halibut and a geode. Okay. Got time for a few more casts here. And then we'll be heading back. If we get a quick bite here, we have time for one more cast. All right, one more cast. Another chest here. Definitely want to grab those. And the fish essentially catches itself. Very nice. All right, another halibut. And the chest, final one of the day, shows a ruby. Okay. So that's definitely a new one for us. We have 5 stone. All right, let's head on back. Got a bunch of fish to sell here, folks. We did very well for ourselves here. Very nice. All right. So heading back, we're going to put the tuna in the community chest. Need that for the community center, of course. And we can sell the rest. Should be, I don't know, what, 3 grand? I mean, we got 5 super cucumbers. 4 or 5 super cucumbers. That right there, I believe, is $1,200 total. Let's check it out. Yeah, 5 super cucumbers of gold quality. Very nice. Yeah, this is actually going to be a pretty nice payday for us. Alright, tuna goes in here. Might as well get the broken glasses recycling. Let's get the barn door closed. Nope, we're not going to drink the mayonnaise. My goodness. Alright. Alright, and back into bed we go here. Got all the animals, pet? You bet. Got a few 3-heart chickens here. Very nice. Alright, let's get to sleep here for the nights. And let's see how we did. Looks like we have an event of some sort here. There was an earthquake during the night. Okay, so we have an earthquake during the night to investigate. And folks, we did much better than just a few $1,000s. We have a total of 7,000 gained that day, but 62.40 from fishing alone. Look at the super cucumber, obviously the champion at 468 per cucumber times 5. Halibut also chipped in nicely with 900 himself. The red mullet, they actually sell pretty decent. Are fairly common. Flounder looking good. So fishing, very good to us on this day. So we're going to put this $7,095 into the bank. And we are going to call this an episode here, folks. If you are enjoying the playthrough series, please consider becoming a subscriber. Follow along right here with this playthrough series to see day 3 and onward of summer. Obviously, we had an earthquake happen last night. We're going to start to see some, eventual yield out of our blueberries and other crops that we grew. We have, nice sprinklers in place here on Summer 1. We worked hard to get there, and it's going to pay off in a big way, of course. And I'm just looking forward to continuing on with this playthrough series. This game is great. Definitely one of the games that I look most forward to rocking and rolling on. So if you're enjoying it, folks, please consider joining the community. I would love to have you. Once again, thank you so much for your viewership. I really do appreciate it. And we'll catch you in the next video. Thanks a lot. See you later.